Hello and welcome back to 2064 Read-Only Memories. Let's continue. That's not where we were. Thank you. Okay, let's see here. Login link server Z77 Gamma. Welcome to Links. Okay, I think the only thing we can do is operate data transfer arm. Let's, tract arm? Turn arm? Aha! There we go. And then click.
Nice job. I'm gonna put some more pressure on them to move the data now, and we'll see if we can't slurp it right out of this network trunk.
Awesome.
You would have thought that someone would have noticed and decommissioned this access node when the neighborhood went to hell, but
And that would require work.
this mouse is happy to play while the cat is away.
Why is this place usable for us anyway?
Way back when I was a youngin', when I first hacked into Parallax's network, I mostly did it to make a point, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
They were just about to launch the MeshNet system, and I wanted to show the whole darned world that their security had more holes in it than Swiss cheese.
Yep.
Of course, I wasn't too shy about poking in a few more holes of my own devising while I was there. After putting in some more tricky software backdoors, I went ahead and deleted this access node off the maintenance schedule.
That explains stuff.
Then, I reassigned the guy who was supposed to keep an eye on it to a different location. They were in the process of buying up a whole gaggle of these nodes in preparation to set up a private network for themselves.
Right.
All just to use for the MeshNet launch. Maybe a little too confident of them. Most of the software holes have been patched out as they've upgraded their network, but this whole place is just as forgotten as I left it.
Oh, why would they move the data?
I've been targeting one of their data centers with a botnet-driven DDoS attack, hitting every port into its network that I can find.
I see.
Ain't likely to do much, but toss in a few attempts to crack the firewall and their VIs are shitting bricks.
Mm-hmm.
It's standard procedure for them to move their sensitive data to a different data center in case the attacker actually gets in.
Yep.
Make enough noise and it'll scare them enough into taking some defensive action, which is where we want them.
I see.
The files are more vulnerable in transit.
Well, let us know when you're finished.
Now you'll just hold tight. I'll be done with this lickety-split.
Cool.
Surveillance camera footage.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Turin. I'm so sorry.
That's not good.
What is it, Tomcat? What did you find?
He's gone, Turin.
Oh.
Of course he's gone, Tomcat. That's why we're here.
I think it's, Tomcat means a more permanent way.
Shit. I mean, he's gone, Turin. Hayden is dead.
Well, that obviously isn't right, Tomcat. Why would they kill him? Can you send me the relevant files? You must have missed something.
I don't think you should see it, but if you're sure. Parallax, they had security cam footage from the hallway outside Hayden's apartment encrypted on their network. Just a short clip. looks like Hayden started to struggle with a couple of big dudes when they broke through the door, and one of them shot him.
Eesh.
I also found some chatter about it on some darknet channels. It wasn't a kidnapping. Somebody went there to murder him.
It was an assassination.
I'm so damn sorry.
Thank you for your assistance in this matter, Tomcat. I think I'll walk back to the apartment. I need some time to run some calculations about this new scenario.
Yeah.
If you'll excuse me.
Should you follow them?
I'll catch up later, I think.
If you say so. Yeah, I'm gonna keep digging through this data until they kick me out of the system.
Alright.
I'll try to find some kind of lead on why this whole thing started in the first place. Maybe I can find something out about who killed Hayden and why Parallax has a copy of the footage. It ain't much of a silver lining, but we have the answer on Hayden's fate.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to call it quits. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.
This game does not autosave, so please be sure to save frequently. Chapter 3. $12:21.
Oh, you're back.
Yep. How you doing? How are you doing?
You know, Hayden was a brilliant programmer, far ahead of his time. I am a machine, and intrinsically, I do not have all the glands and visceral chemical reactions that make humans so emotional and brilliant. But his code is a flawless replication of that, inside my own personality algorithms. I don't think I've ever felt this anger.
Oh.
It fouls my processors and fills my RAM with frustrating, half-finished plans of revenge. My motherboard burns in my casing from how little I can rest. I'm in pain, and I can't make it go away.
I wish I could hug the robot.
I do not like the thoughts I'm having about the people who did this to him.
That's only natural. You turn them off?
I could. I can disable those modules. But if I turn off every emotion I don't want to feel, what does that make me? Would I still be me?
Yeah.
If I were human, turning off my emotions would be seen as extremely unhealthy.
Yep.
There is a wealth of information on the meshnet about human psychology. I just don't know how much of it applies to myself. Either way, Hayden deserves my grief. It is my way of honoring him. It may be the only way I can. I offer it freely. Did you see the jade plant? Its death is unfortunate.
Oh.
Fitting.
You're hopeless. Failed talk to Wilty.
Yet another thing to be guilty for. Will you keep helping me? I need you. To find the bastards who killed my progenitor. I need to finish this. I don't know what I'll do afterwards, but I need to see this through.
We'll bring him to justice, Turing.
Justice. Yes, good. I knew you'd keep me from losing myself in this. Let's make sure they have the appropriate time to atone for their crimes in prison.
If possible.
Even if it takes the rest of their lives. I think for now we should keep knowledge of Hayden's death between you, Tomcat, and I. It may give us an edge if the people we seek don't know how much we've already discovered. We'll talk after you've had some time to rest. You likely need sleep, and I need some time to... I need some time.
Okay.
Hmm.
$12:22.
Good morning. I trust you slept well.
Sure, how about you?
I had ample time to recharge my internal batteries.
That's not what I meant, though.
It is upsetting that Hayden is... gone.
Yep.
But life for the rest of us goes on, yes? We still have a mystery to unravel, and I will waste no further processing time over something I cannot reverse. There is no point. Now that we are both refreshed, I feel it wouldn't hurt to recap our progress and determine if any changes should be made based on our successes and failures. Let's talk about how things are going so far. Since your journalistic efforts are a big part of why I originally recruited you, we can start there.
Okay.
Your inquiring mind has been a huge boost in our journey thus far.
I'm glad to hear.
As a ROM, I can't talk to people as intently as you, so I must say I'm quite grateful for your skills in that regard.
Thanks.
You're diligent in your day-to-day work as well, which further grounds my hope in you.
Well, sometimes.
Beyond journalistic persistence, let's take a look at how we've performed in other responsibilities. Specifically, our choices in overcoming obstacles.
Okay.
Our first major hurdle proved challenging, but we made use of our surroundings and found a creative avenue.
We try to.
Furthermore, I am pleased with your utilization of non-violent methods. Eliminating any excessive risk should allow us to move swiftly.
I don't want to hurt people.
Finally, I was quite impressed by your ability to adapt on the fly, as they say, and perform so well when thrust into a sudden situation.
Thanks.
Lastly, I'd like to discuss how we're getting along with our companions and allies along the way. It's important.
Yep.
I was very impressed with your negotiation abilities with those kids. We got our data cache, and they went on their way, and hopefully learned a lesson too.
Yep.
Jess is a bit of a harder read, but she did agree to help us out in a big way.
Yep.
As long as her brash nature doesn't tempt you to lash out, I think things will go smoothly. Detective Rivers was good to involve as well, and I can tell you enjoy having a familiar face around. She could prove to be our greatest aid, as long as we make it worth her time. No funny business.
Right.
Tomcat seems to genuinely care for our cause, and I have no trouble with letting their expertise guide us.
Yep.
Out of everyone else, they seem to be easiest to get along with, too.
Yeah.
And finally, you and I. I must say, we have worked together better than I ever expected. I hope you feel the same.
Oh, thanks.
I feel confident in our combined ability, and I enjoy your company as well. Please, continue showing me around the city as we continue our search.
Well, seems most of our efforts have been on the good side, except for botany.
Unfortunately, we've just about run out of leads.
Yep.
Perhaps Tomcat was able to find something of use in Parallax's network while they were inside.
Maybe. I'm sure they did.
I hope so, but I feel a little bad for relying on them as much as we do.
Yeah.
Always going so far for Hayden. They must have been close.
Possibly.
Oh, speaking of them, incoming call from Tomcat.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Forwarding video and audio.
Morning. Karen, how you been doing, hon?
I'm fine, Tomcat. Thank you for your concern.
Well, okay. Just say the word if I can help out in any way. You hear?
Of course. In fact, I was hoping you might have a lead for us to start working at. Otherwise, we're down to canvassing Hayden's address book and seeing if any of his contacts have an idea about who might have had a desire to target him. But that's just fishing in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I pulled a fair amount of data from the Parallax servers before they managed to kick me out, but it'll take me a while to go through it.
Okay.
A lot of it's unrelated. TPS reports, maintenance logs. Juicy meat for other corporations, but about as useful as dirt to us.
TPS reports.
It'll take me a while to decrypt all of Hayden's files, but maybe we'll find something there. So, no, I don't have as much as a whiff of a trail on who's behind this.
That's alright.
Though, I recently got a strange request from a friend of a friend.
Oh?
Someone's been messing with the articles of a news organization named Augmented Eye.
Interesting.
It seems like the network security head there is asking around for cybercrackers to help figure out how their reports are getting changed.
Oh.
The original files on their servers are untouched. In their system, everything looks peachy keen. But when you view the site from the outside of the network, things are changed up.
Interesting.
A word here, phrase there. It's subtle, but often has a big impact on the article's tone.
Yeah.
Someone with deep access to Parallax's meshnet is changing what's being shown. I ain't sure if it's related, but maybe y'all can head down to the main KCOB offices and try talking to the gal that runs Augmented Eye. Her name is Zim.
Right.
I ain't got the time or the desire to stick my nose that far out for a stranger, but it seems like your kind of deal.
It does seem to be a bit of a stretch. But if we have to wait for you to work on the data we've collected anyway...
Yep. I'll be happy to look into it.
Alright. I'll pass the word along that you'll be in sometime today to stick your noses in. And I'll send y'all word as soon as I get anything worth hunting down.
Excellent. Thank you, Tomcat. We are grateful for your continued assistance.
No problem, Taryn. Are you sure you're gonna be okay? Maybe you should take a little more time. You've been through some shit in the past few days.
Yeah.
I said I was fine. Thank you for your concern, but I am fine.
Yep.
I have already handled the reality of Hayden's death. It's time to move on with the investigation.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. I'm just worried. So, I'm here if you need anything.
Yep.
Understood. I apologize for my tone, Tomcat. We'll be in touch.
Alright, later, Taryn.
Okay, we have a lead, however tenuous. I've highlighted the COS-IO Corp office building on your map.
Cobb. Like it.
Also, while we were talking to Tomcat, I received an email from Dr. Fairlight.
Oh.
Displaying.
Greetings.
Aye.
I hope you'll forgive me for a voice-only message, but I'm undergoing my treatment and would not call myself presentable for a video call.
Understandable.
Still, I wanted to inform you of an idea I had while looking into our mutual acquaintance's disappearance.
Okay.
I haven't had any luck with my contacts inside Parallax, but I was reminded of an old friend by the name of Melody Flores, who may know more about the nature of Hayden's research. She's the owner of Flower Cybernetics, and Hayden has been known to work closely with them on projects involving the intersection of Parallax's systems and the implants that Flower designs.
Interesting.
Melody and I are no longer on speaking terms, so I'm afraid I can't introduce you.
Okay.
But perhaps the intrigue of Hayden's little robot will get you entry into her home.
Maybe.
I hope this lead serves you well. If you need anything else from me, I will be in and out of the hospital room where we met for the next few days.
Right.
I will send word if I have any other insights or discoveries.
Okay.
Yours, Dr. Yannick Fairlight.
Interesting. I had no knowledge of Hayden ever working with Flower Cybernetics, but now I'm starting to understand just how little I really knew about his research. Maybe this Melody can reveal more about the purposes of my construction.
Could be.
Hayden must have kept my development secret for a reason. Hopefully we can talk our way in.
Hopefully.
I have highlighted Melody's home on your map.
All right.
Okay, we can now either follow Tomcat's lead to KCOB or Fairlight's lead to Melody's home. Up to you where to go first. Tomcat's led us in the right direction so far, but Fairlight has resources and his tip might end up being more relevant.
True.
It depends on what you want our focus to be on in terms of tracking Hayden's trail. Should we follow the media or the tech? It's fitting. They're the two factors that make NEO-SF so unique and wonderful. If we explore them both to the fullest, there's no way we won't be closer to the answer.
Yep. Okay. So there's the Flower Mansion and Cosio Corp. Well, Tomcat talked to us first, so...
Here we are.
Yep.
The Cos.io Corporation office building. It looks like most of the businesses on this block are a part of the same corporate coalition under Cos.io.
Interesting. That important?
Well, perhaps. At the very least, it means it's unlikely they're the ones interfering with Augmented Eye's articles. Not impossible, but unlikely.
Okay. How so?
Generally, the companies in a coalition don't have a whole lot of overlap. Augmented Eye is a news app focused on local tech and culture stories, with an emphasis on hybrids' rights and cybernetics issues.
Yeah.
None of the other companies in the coalition cover news, so they aren't related at all, which is very much standard practice for these groups.
Yeah, unless they don't like what the news is saying.
They have nothing to gain by inviting companies with whom they compete, and thus none of them would benefit by trying to undermine Augmented Eye's credibility as a news source.
Tell me more about this coalition?
In the early 2020s, the California government was pretty much going bankrupt. A poor national economy and repeated voter initiatives meant the state didn't have the tax revenue to continue running municipal services.
Yeah.
They kept pushing the tax burden down the totem pole until poorer cities were just flat broke.
Yep.
No police, no road work, complete public service collapse.
That's because you can't tax the rich because some reason that the rich people keep telling us.
Then, one of the smaller cities sold all of their public infrastructure, police and fire included, to a private corporation. This was eventually challenged in court, but several Silicon Valley corporations started a grassroots initiative to have citizens pass an amendment to the state constitution allowing it. They succeeded, and most of the major cities in the state sold off their public services to private corporations.
Yeah.
Some places like Los Angeles just sold to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
Which is probably why LA is essentially in a constant gang turf war, with one side wearing the uniforms of the studio-owned police forces.
Well, just like today. I'm listening.
The cities in the Bay Area were a little more selective, and most of the municipal services are owned by multi-corporation coalitions.
Ugh.
They split the bill of running the city between them and keep each other from being too corrupt in their usage of the police force and such, from fear of a PR disaster and being kicked out of the coalition.
Yeah, you'll probably notice it's still the people being screwed.
It means there isn't as much money going around, which is why the NSFPD's equipment is out of date and the meshnet is so successful over normal cable networks.
Uh-huh.
After all, without the promise of a city infrastructure bought and paid for, the corporations all treat running the city like a charity and PR stunt. But at least the police aren't irredeemably corrupt. The fire trucks still show up on time, and the water runs to all parts of the city.
So do the police investigate the corporations that own them?
That can't be said for some areas of the state.
I didn't realize things were that bad elsewhere. As the federal government stepped in.
I haven't spent enough time learning about the subject, or politics in general, to give you an educated answer.
Right.
If I go by the posts people make on the meshnet, I'd say a combination of having bigger fish to fry and caving to corporate pressure.
Mm-hmm.
People seem certain that the larger multinational companies would love to be able to buy their own towns on a national scale, and are pumping money into Congress to try and make that happen.
Ugh.
They hold up Neo-SF as an example of their success, while trying to bury the problems in LA as an anomaly. Combine that with unrest abroad, and I guess they don't have a whole lot of motivation to try and stop it. Historical precedent seems to lend credence to this interpretation, if you're willing to believe my hasty readings on the subject.
Fair enough. Thanks for filling me in.
You're welcome. I am happy to assist.
Good listener. Fine listening through all of Turing's lectures. Well, that's cool. I can look up. These trees are genuine. Real roof trees. Come all the rage back in the 40s. Many companies sponsor roof trees. Even sponsor animals. After the York's raccoon blackout of 2060, they stopped that practice. Aww. But I'm sure they were adorable with their little paws. Cost SIO Corporation employee or ops building employs a pretty fancy interactive screen out front. They keep it outdoors. The electrical work must be on another level. True. Sayonara speaks everything it prints. 2062 Zis CR4 Coup. Perfect for letting everyone know you spent a fortune on credits on a car.
Bulbitis riparia, one of the more popular display ferns in recent times.
I see.
Expensive, given the cost of caring for it.
Yeah.
The species is native to threatened tropical forests, but it became a popular import after being endorsed by a former child star turned conservationist.
I see. Turing doesn't have any data on species. Must have been crossbred for the most genetic beauty. Thick pane, floors in a window. Inside, there's a bunch of security guards and rows of elevators behind them.
Be careful where you wave that around. You never know who's watching or what's scanning.
True. Landscape safely enclosed and isolated ecosystem. Fern almost looks overflowed from its well-mounted holder, making it look like a featureless plastic head with green anime hair. K-Cop door, it's automatic. No need to wonder if you push or pull. Prefer to only converse with revolving doors. Oh. Open.
The meshnet says Augmented Eye's SF office is run by an individual named Zin, and Tomcat confirmed she's expecting us.
Yep.
All we have to do now is head up and talk to her. No shenanigans this time.
Understandable. Zin's IK-47 Executive Series ROM, signed for office and high-level account maintenance. Ah, Jade Plan. Zin must really love her desk plant. It's been meticulously trimmed and treated. Picture of a toupee is an odd thing to frame. Yeah. Oh wait, that's an animal of some kind. You didn't know people still hung up motivational posters unironically. Aw yeah, Super Family plays all the old hits like Yoki's Peninsula, Water Rash, and Super Slug 3, Revenge of the Super Slug. Sweet, unopened duck game.
This game gives me the urge to start quacking uncontrollably. Is something wrong with me?
Nope, you just have taste. Zin's window. You can see the Bay Bridge from here. I can? Maybe? One of those bland office paintings. Looks like color splotches and off-white background.
Not my style, but I like the warm tones.
Professional care these plants receive put your well-intentioned yet misguided overwatering to shame. Swanky looking desk that curves out at edges. Sharp-dressed woman stares you down. Don't look away. We will talk.
Oh, hello. Welcome to Augmented Eye.
Hi.
You must be the journalist my network admin said would be showing up.
Yep.
Have a seat. Would you like a drink?
I don't see any chairs here. Water would be nice.
My assistant will bring it right away. Look, I'll start off by saying I'm a little uncomfortable about bringing in another journalist to look into this.
Okay.
Whatever you dig up, I'll have to explain to the rest of the press. But it's still better than the other options.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
Chances are I have another corporation scoping out my territory.
Yep.
If they aren't in the coalition, they'll be expecting a corporate spy, not a news hound.
True.
If they are in the coalition, it won't look good for me to send in my own reporters against my allies.
Yep.
Even if I do end up being right. So if I'm damned either way, I'd rather it be by the media.
Right.
At least then we can fight back on a familiar battlefield. Now, what do you know about our problem here?
Well, someone's tampering with your articles on the mesh.
That's the long and short of it. My network admin is pulling their hair out over it.
Interesting.
I'm not going to pretend I understand everything they say, but from what I understand, the changes to our articles aren't being made from inside our network.
Oh, so it's not coming from inside the house.
The versions on our servers are still the originals, but at some point after they hit the mesh, they get changed.
Okay.
I'm hoping that you can do some digging, maybe hit up your contacts and get a lead on who might be doing it.
Yeah.
Even if I have to get answers from the nightly news, it will be a big help.
Right. Well, what kind of changes are being made?
Mostly little things. Word choice, tone of the writing, things that make the writer appear more or less extreme on a topic.
Right.
So far, almost all of the edits seem to be making our articles more positive on new technologies coming out, and more critical of organizations like the Human Revolution.
Okay.
That's actually what tipped us off. A harsh criticism one of my writers made about the Human Revolution protests was changed to be downright vitriolic, and I had a hell of a time putting out the fires.
Oh.
My writers and readers aren't exactly fans of them, but I'd rather not pick fights with the Human Revolution if I don't have to.
Yeah, considering I'm sure they'd probably throw a Molotov through that big window there. So, how are you sure it's not happening from inside the house?
I guess I'm not, but my network admin assures me it's all coming from somewhere else. They told me that they tore out all of the routers that broadcast to the mesh and replaced them with fresh ones. All kinds of tricks involving IP addresses and DNS changes that I'm not going to even begin to claim to understand.
Okay, I mean, they changed the hardware, and we can be relatively assured that it's not a software problem. But how about the meatware? Someone's got to do it. Someone with fingers and a pulse.
I pay them big bucks, so I'm inclined to believe them unless you dig up something that tells me otherwise.
Any idea where I should start?
Not really. My admin says that only someone with intimate access to Parallax's network protocols could make these kind of changes as something passes across the net.
Exactly what I was saying earlier. Huh.
Personally, I think it's a clever hacker rather than someone inside Parallax itself.
Little column A, little column B.
The public trust rating of Parallax makes them look like a saint among wolves, so their control over the mesh network provisions is strangling. It's trivially easy to set up ROMs to use a different OS than LIPS or a different meshnet protocol without that trust. Or, you know, Parallax is abusing its power to spread pro-tech propaganda. Doubtful they need to.
Well, need to and just will are two entirely different things.
I'm sure you'll be a good journo and bring me back the right answer.
Alright, it's a start.
I know tin hat conspiracies aren't an ideal start, but it's the best we can do with the info we have. Anything else I can tell you, off the record? If you want it on the record, it'll cost you your firstborn and a really good cigar.
Oh. Any reason why you're being targeted?
Like what? There isn't much more I can tell you about Augmented Eye, really. It's a fairly simple and straightforward operation, if I say so myself. We started off in Venezuela as a sleek current events and news organization in 2055. Almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
We focus on more in-depth reporting of on-the-street happenings, on top of major news. We are one of the few good ones left. Once folks in other cities saw the type of reporting we do, they all clamored for it. They invested in the right places, and it paid off. COS-IO Corp is happy to have us here in the OSF. It wasn't until hybrid tech started hitting the public sphere that we had to make any changes to our model. All of that said, I can't see why anyone would target us. Unless they're just trying to embroil us in a mudslinging match with the human revolution, and there are much more direct ways of making that happen.
Maybe. Know of anything, anyone else having articles being manipulated?
Alright, look. I wasn't going to tell you this. If it gets out, I'd have to answer some really hard questions.
Okay.
So, you didn't hear this from me. You might want to go check out TMI Entertainment and Charlie Nova.
Alright.
That's all I'll say. And remember, you take a bite out of him with my name as your defense, I drop you fast.
Right. What's the real reason you're bringing in outside help? Your own journalist should be able to handle digging up some dirt on a hacker.
What? Not wanting to answer prying questions from my coalition board isn't a good enough reason? 'Cause I'd really like to avoid that. And look, you've covered culture wars, right? My journalists are good, but they're mostly good at gadget reviews, implant releases, not taking too many stims so they remember what they did at raves for the after-party reports. This needs an investigative journalist with serious contacts, not tech personalities.
Right.
The fact that my network admin recommended you to me means you probably know the right people. Now, does that cover it? I'd like to remove my nose from your ass.
Yeah, that's it for now. Get back to you if I got more questions.
No, don't bother. In hindsight, I probably should have been a bit more circumspect about speaking to you. Plausible deniability and all that. I won't ask you to lie in anything you write, But do remember, you got in contact with me not even secondhand, but third hand. I certainly didn't sick you on anyone.
Right.
Wink wink, nudge nudge, or whatever. If you need anything else, have your person get with my person. Don't come here directly.
Right.
Now, I'd show you the door, but you know the way. And this isn't the only fire I'm trying to put out. Good luck, and goodbye.
Well, that was more confrontational than I'd have expected, considering she was the one needing help.
Yep.
She never brought you that water, either.
Nope.
Is it always like this?
Well, she knows the game, but we didn't walk away with nothing.
Very true. I will admit that I am interested in the possibility of a link back to Parallax.
Yeah.
If all of this really is due to somebody manipulating the mesh net on the inside, it may give us the leverage we need to find out what happened to Hayden once and for all.
Yep.
That said, I will take care not to get my hopes up. We should make no assumptions when investigating, lest we lead ourselves down a false path.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, seems like our next step is... What the...
Oh.
What the... That's Zin!
Gotta go help her.
It's too late. Considering the angle and height of the fall, rendering suitable aid is beyond our capabilities now. Your desire is laudable, but emergency services are already on the way. They will assist her as much as they can.
Ugh.
We should head back to her office and see if we can determine what happened here. Perhaps we can still dispense justice.
True.
This is how we dispense justice, right? It looks like the desk has been cleared off.
Yeah.
Let's take a look around, but be careful not to disturb any evidence. The police will be here soon.
There's the robot.
Even a ROM like that doesn't deserve an end like this.
Flawless foliage hath fallen.
My thermal sensors only detect a single set of lingering footprints, and they end almost 3 feet away from the window. Considering the density of this glass, I can't imagine Zin jumped from that far and managed to throw herself through the pane without help.
Yep.
But who could have done it? I don't see any obvious marks on the floor or any other thermal hotspots.
Saying no one else was here?
It doesn't look like it. Her personal computer is not password protected at the moment. Give me a moment to look through her files.
All right.
Just to keep your fingerprints off of the keyboard.
Yep.
Most of this isn't very interesting. Committee reports, financials, article submissions. Oh, here we go. According to this email between Zin and her network admin, her lead on TMI Entertainment is a little more solid than she led us to believe.
Interesting.
The admin ran a web crawler looking for changes in writing styles. Some blog posts by their head anchor Charlie Nova stood out like a sore thumb.
Uh-huh.
Apparently he's a bit pompous, if in an affable way, and his blog usually just details his day-to-day life.
Yeah.
But ever since the human revolution has been in town, he's been smearing them with more venom than you'd expect, considering how neutral his on-air reporting has been. Zin seemed to think he was just complaining about the protesters fouling up traffic, and whoever is manipulating these posts spun it to make him look critical of the movement as a whole.
Interesting.
Just like the augmented eye journalist. This Charlie fellow is the one we need to talk to.
Yep.
We should go. There isn't anything else here, and the police are almost on the scene.
Son of a...
Eep.
I should have figured the two of you would be here. You just won't stay out of trouble no matter what I say, will you?
Yeah. Total misunderstanding.
I assure you, Detective Rivers, we are merely in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
We had an appointment with Zin to discuss a possible lead and found her office in this state of disrepair.
Yeah. You can check the logs.
Of course you did. Damn it. Fine. Get the hell out of here before anyone else shows up. We'll chat about the case more when I'm not busy scraping bodies off the pavement. You hear me?
Right.
Certainly, Detective Rivers. I'll forward you a report of what we know immediately, and we can speak further at a later time.
Yeah, whatever. Get moving.
Ooh.
Why do you lie to Lexi? Could have told her about the articles.
Because it's better this way. We are chasing smoke trails. You think she would assist such an unlikely investigation? I do not need you to infer upon my motivations or highlight my duplicity.
Okay.
Detective Rivers has every bit of information that Zin gave us on that computer. Her investigation will not be hampered by our absence, whereas ours is halted if we're stuck giving answers she can just as well get from a hard drive. Literally. Has it occurred to you that whoever threw Zin out of that window could be after the same thing we are, except to silence the story rather than to get it out? We have little time for fooling about and must get to Charlie Nova before something happens to him too. Now, unless you have further recriminations to level at me, we must not squander the time my dishonesty bought us. I have highlighted the main Neo-SF offices for TMI Entertainment on your map.
Okay.
Let's go.
Go there, or we can, I suppose time is of the essence.
I hope some pity for me still remains, considering my recent tone, because I'm honestly not sure where we should start. I suppose we should just ask the receptionist to point us to somebody who can answer our questions.
Yep. What do you know about Charlie Nova?
Honestly, you do have your own mesh access, yes? I'm quite certain you can handle all the casual searches you might feel like making. We hardly have time for me to blather out every bit of exposition you desire when you could just go look it up on your own.
Well, you just do such a good job making it concise.
Fair enough. If you think it will save time, I can continue to rattle off these facts when you ask for them. I just ask that you keep your queries to a minimum. We don't have a whole lot of time.
Okay.
Let me pull up the information you requested.
What do you know about Nova?
Charlie Nova is TMI Entertainment's most popular TV personality. He's gotten consistently high ratings for almost a decade and isn't afraid to tell you about it.
Yeah.
The chatter on the mesh paints him as a bit arrogant, but in that loud, backslapping kind of way that a media star can get away with.
Sounds like a dick.
He's best known for hosting Star in the Stratosphere. It's one of those talent-seeking reality programs. Apparently, when TMI can't organically discover enough celebrities, they just manufacture them.
Yep.
Oh, and also, according to this blog, Charlie's hair is flawless.
What can you tell me about this place?
TMI Entertainment is a relatively popular celebrity and gossip news conglomerate. They own OK Today. They did a good job transitioning from the traditional media models of television and news to the net-based model prevalent now. Pioneered by their digital newspaper, OK Today's The Scan Line. Some might call their programs rags, but opinion on the mesh seems more favorable than not. They stick to mostly good-natured prying and lean away from the seedier nastiness that paparazzi can get up to. As such, they have a positive relationship with many celebrities and regularly get exclusive scoops that keep their ratings up, despite their refusal to peddle in the darker side of the celebrity news circuit.
So they're not really news, they're just advertising and propaganda op. Gotcha. Got it. Plant in the corner is supported by a few stakes that are stuck in the middle of the planter. Short, scruffy plant sits squarely to the side of the desk. Logo of TMI Entertainment. Basic, but sleek. I'm not gonna buzz while she's here. A hyper receptionist bobs on her heels. Either had a long day or is just fidgety. Hello.
Welcome to TMI Entertainment Incorporated. Do you have an appointment?
I have a story we're about to break. Want to offer TMI an opportunity to comment?
Oh, I guess I should send you to Sympathy then?
Okay.
Oh, she'd be pretty mad if someone ran something without her getting a chance to comment.
That's true.
Go ahead and talk to her. She's on the other side of the room. Don't bother the talent, though. She hates that.
Uh-huh. And 80NL News Rom putters speedily across the production floor, frantic looking for the next big scoop. Hi. Newsrom doesn't care to take comment from an unaffiliated freelancer. Inactive cameras. Anything else around here? Stern-looking producer with one heck of a pair of sunglasses, talent show host, cameras. You must be the guy. Alright, well, it's a little bit early, but I think before we continue in this area, we're going to call it a video, because it looks like this place will be busy. Have a good one, folks.